Hey y'all, this is Jeannie. Welcome back, or welcome if you're just now stopping by. I appreciate y'all clicking on that button to come and watch my video. That means so much to me. I'm truly grateful for all of you who've been watching and commenting and liking and subscribing and sharing and all those things. Like, I have just truly felt overwhelmed lately with just gratitude here and on Instagram. Thank y'all so much. I will have all my links below, including my email. If you're ever interested in placing a custom order, or maybe you're interested in a journal I'm sharing, or just wanting to say hi, you're just feel free to email me. So these are spoken for. I was actually working on a Bohemian Beach collection. I still am working on that. But y'all know how I just take little detours sometimes. So I was filming a tutorial, or I needed to film a tutorial for the patchwork journals, the strawberry collection I did last month. And I'd actually filmed it with this journal. And then I was just going to put these things away, move on to the beach journals. But then not only was it so fun working in these colors right here at summertime, but it was, once again, y'all were just like, on Instagram when I posted, you all were loving it, so I decided to make 4. Now, each one of these, oh yeah, so let me say, this is not the tutorial you'll see. It was this one. I didn't really like how this tutorial turned out, and I tried to make it a little more condensed, I guess you could say. So I did it again. Anyways, ended up with 4. When you reserve a journal with me, meaning if you see one and you're like, oh my goodness, I would love to have that if it hasn't sold yet, or if you want to place a custom order, the way that works with me is, obviously I can send you more details if you're interested, but now I probably won't be doing any more of this theme that I'm aware of right now. Now I may come back in, 3 or 4 weeks and revisit them, but I don't think I will. But anyways, I kind of treat it like a custom order, and if I have not already started on the inside, I'm always happy to put the things that you would like in there. I guess kind of personalizing it, if you will. So these ladies actually wanted them more faith-based, scriptures in them, prayer type journals. So I'm going to go ahead and share these, and then I will share the other 2 once they're done. They're really close to being done. I'll probably finish them up today, but I've got to pack all of the things inside of these. I actually have to make the ephemera, but those should be done by the end of today. But anyways, those will be like just super, Care Bears inside and 80s kind of stuff, that kind of theme. And actually, you know what? One of them is kind of more, I'm telling y'all, my journals just take on a personality of their own if the customer does not specify. Like this one ended up taking more of a summer travel theme. So I'm just saying that to say, and it will have some Care Bears and stuff inside too, but I just tell you that because you may want to watch my flip through sometimes, because I'm very eclectic in my style. And even though all 4 of these look very, very similar, they're all different inside. So I just encourage you to click that subscribe button and that notification bell and watch my flip throughs. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this one. This is the first one that I had made. And I also want to say, if you're ever watching this and you ordered the journal and you see something in someone else's journal and you're like, oh man, I would love, a piece of that fabric or a tag from that or something like that, feel free to reach out and tell me that, because literally from journal to journal, my style, it doesn't necessarily change, but what I'm telling y'all, my brain is I just do what I'm feeling like creating in the moment, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's not that I'm trying to make one better than the other one, but my creativity just takes a different route. So this one was from an Amazon mailer. Hear how that crinkles? It measures, I think it was approximately like 5.5 by 9 inches. And I just made a collage cover. I will link the tutorial below for my collage cover. But I just used different fabrics and then layered it with some embroidered linens. And then these large daisies, I actually had cut off of a placemat. And the closure for this one, I just doubled up this fun yellow sheer trim and then put it through an eyelet on each side. So this right here, if you see my background, if you noticed, excuse me, I got this from an estate sale this weekend, and it's all clean and fresh now, and I mean, how perfect. I had already finished most of the, finished the insides of these and like the pockets and trims, and so I'm going to include a piece for everybody's journal, but I'm not sure that I put, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't able to necessarily put the items inside, but like this one, I just went ahead and added this pocket in the front. I just put it on an index card and stitched it and then glued it on. So this one did get to have a pocket out of this. And I just put lots of fun things. Like I said, it's a double pocket because the index card is back here. And so this was like the, I guess you'd say the top of the sheet. So I just put some fun little things. I did some stamping. I altered this, or made this tag and stamped "He Restores My Soul." And just stitched some fun trim up there. And y'all, I don't know why I'm talking so choppy. Uh-oh, that's trash. This is a paper pad from Hobby Lobby. More stamping. It says, "This is the day the Lord has made." You can't have an 80s theme without rainbow touches here and there from our childhood, you know, like the bright, fun, if you grew up in like the 80s with the strawberry shortcake and Care Bears and all that. But this just has some fun gold stars. I just stitched some sequins around this stamped piece of fabric. It says, "But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength." Rainbow Bright, that's what I'm trying to say. She was a fun little 80s character. I wish I had some of that stuff to put in here. That'd been fun. She said she likes bees, so I put an image from a cake decorating book or a recipe book with a little beehive. I love this trim right here. This is some avocado dyed paper. More stamping. This is from an Ideals book page and a poem about July. This is some adorable vintage gift wrap I have, and I couldn't find but a couple little pieces of that. I'm gonna look one more time, but these were just fun new die cuts that Hobby Lobby had. Love this little book right here, especially for this, you know, I say 80s. I mean, you know, the 60s kind of, again, I'm very eclectic, and I did put things from 60s, 70s, and 80s in some of them. But this come from a book I had gotten at an estate sale with little songs in there. Is that not so cute? Like the font, it's just perfect for these. So I put couple pages in here. This is from a vintage crochet, knitting and crocheting book. Creating Me a Pure Heart. Some dyed deli paper. And then I made some of my little scripture snippets, I like to call them. I had torn this out of a little book. It says, I seek you with all my heart. Do not let me stray from your commands. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Praise be to you, O Lord. Teach me your decrees. Psalm 119:10 through 12. I just layered it up with some vintage wallpaper and inked it and put a little flower at the bottom. Just more stamping. I was going to make a pocket out of this, but I just left it because she could glue a whole paper on top of this if she wanted to, or she could make a little pocket. Vintage children's music book page with a busy buzzing bee song. I just stitched down this adorable little golden book page and then just glued it down. It looks like it's stitched on the page, but it's not. But it's just a little hidden journaling spot. It says, where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. So she could journal or put a photo in here, or a prayer for someone, and just kind of clip this closed, and no one would ever pay any attention. Like if it were my kids, they would not take the time to flip that open. This is from a Granny Chic book. Another needlepoint book. This was an image from a magazine from the 1970s that I had. She's just sitting there reading her book in a field of daisies. Her little guy's out there picking her flowers. I assume that's her guy, but... And I don't know if y'all know who Sadie Robertson is, but she looks like a lot like her to me. These are the good old days. Just I made a little tuck spot out of that. And then I put this little book page in here because I don't know, I just thought it was cute. This was from another vintage sheet that is actually the base of this journal. Altered this super fun wallpaper. Just did some stamping, stamped Let Faith Arise, and then put a dried flower inside this piece of avocado dyed vellum. This is from a vintage Afghan book. Or I think it was, yeah, it's an Afghan, but I think it was about granny squares. This was just a fun little, receipt type paper that my sister had given me. And I cut it right here because there's 3 layers. And I thought this would be fun to just journal on each little page. Another vintage magazine sheet. She wanted some cottage top things in here. So this was fun getting this out of this vintage decorating book or magazine. So here I just, this page had these 2 poems, Sunflower Sunshine and Wildflowers. And so I just backed it with some cardstock, and I thought she could actually turn this into a little journal or put a couple photos in here. This was out of a Better Homes and Garden Cottage book, and I just loved this image. And on the center of this one, I just put these hearts and these daisies. This is so pretty. That quilt is so pretty. Made a little pocket here. Just altered this tiny little tag. And this is just a writing spot. I do this things like this a lot to kind of show y'all, like, if you get, I know a lot of people have a hard time breaking in a journal, but I feel like if I'll go ahead and cover up some of the pages, you'll see how you can do that, and it's not so intimidating. I love this fabric. I only had a tiny, I got it in a estate sale, and it was just one napkin, and I have used that in these. Another tiny little pocket and a tiny little tag. And I just put little stickers and stamping and kind of hidden throughout some of the pages. This was out of a book that I had gotten in some Happy Mail from Madeline, and I love this book so much, so I wanted to keep both sides to where you could see them. So I just used some masking tape and stuck it down to where it turned it into like a flip out. And that just reminded me, I filmed opening that Happy Mail, but I don't think I ever made it public, so I need to do that this week. Share that with y'all. So this is out of a this is a vintage greeting card, and I put it on this page. This was like a Johnson & Johnson's ad. It says, "I just don't like smelling like a lemon grove. I'm more subtle than that." Like, I just thought leaving that was funny. I like leaving random things that make you smile. So I just glued this down, turned this into a little journaling spot, did some more stamping, I believe, "Who You Say I Am," and then put "Forgiven and Restored," and she could just journal on that. Put some little tickets, and then this also opens up. It says, "I'm on a joy journey." I love doing that with vintage cards. That image is so pretty. Just made a giant card out of that sunflower cardstock. This is out of one of my most recent favorite books. I found 2 of them this year. It's called My Favorite Book. It was a book I remember from my childhood. But it just has little prayers and stuff in it. And I've about used at least one of them up because I love those images. Made a pocket out of the other side of this. And just put a charm and bulb pin and some fun things down in this seed packet. And because she said she loved the honeybees, I thought I would make a pocket. This was also off that placemat. It was the only one, so I thought she definitely needed this in her journal. I made this tag out of some napkins and then stamped "You Are My Strength" on this guest check. I love this trim with the oranges. It's just so bright and cheery. Made a little journaling card out of this index card and stamped "I'm Restored." Then another tag from that pack of napkins had like pink, green, blue, and lavender in it, and those were just fun to use in these journals. Little smiley face charm. I just thought that little girl looked cute in here. Some more of that napkin. There's the other side of that beehive cake. Another wallpaper tag. And then I had just gotten this book this weekend at an estate sale, and it was perfect for my prayer journals because, you know, you only have a limited amount of stamps, right? And I've used them over and over. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. It's scripture. It's fine. But if it's someone that's ordered a few times, sometimes, I mean, I always like putting the same ones, but I want to add different ones. So I've been able to tear out these little scriptures from this journal and use them. But anyways, I used the whole page in this one, or this whole page in this one. It was a really thick book too. And then I got these fun book pockets at Hobby Lobby recently. And just stamped pray, wait, trust, and stitched this little trim on there. So that is the back of that one. And now getting into this one. This was from a file folder base, and I just layered up all the fabrics and fun stuff. Just like the others. Only had a tiny piece of this, and I love that fabric. It has the lavender, little lavender flowers. I'm not sure what those are called. I don't know if there's such thing as a purple daisy, but we'll go with that. I use this sheet that's the base of this on the inside as well. Put one of these fun pockets. This little Choose Joy Everyday die cut in there. Here's her little butterfly tag. I just made a vellum pocket here. Little floating dragonfly and flowers. Love this silky fabric. I think this was like from a scarf or something. This is actually a pocket right here too. I need to go back and put something in there, and actually I'm going to do that right now because I had this drying. It was some gift wrap I found this weekend at an estate sale, and I actually didn't include one in this one. I just come across this last night, and I thought this would be perfect in those Care Bear themed journals. I just think that'll be fun in here. It's kind of bugging me that I didn't cut it all the way around, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here and then try to remember to go back and fix it. And y'all know what? That pocket's a lot skinnier than that. Oh, I hate to cut off the sunshine. And if you're cringing, these are not my fabric scissors. They were too dull when I bought them for fabric, probably because someone was cutting their paper like this. So I'm just using them as paper scissors. So that it's kind of like a top belly band, I guess you could say. She could put some fun trim on the top of this and let it poke out the top of the journal. This had a little bit of travel kind of theme. She is super eclectic like me, so I just really had fun just putting random things in here. Like this vintage magazine page. Her pages range from the 50s to the 70s, I'm thinking. This, I think, will be fun for her. An old ad. Traveling to Hawaii, or airline. Pocket here. I altered this flashcard and made a little pocket out of this fun orange trim. That's the cutest trim to me. I stamped Let Faith Arise. Another one of those pages from my favorite book. I also See, that's a little pocket, and I didn't put anything in that either. I made a little tag and did some stitching. It says a perfect day in every way, and has these little ice cream or little popsicles. Thought those were fun. This is the page I used from that little golden book. Madeline sent me this too. I used the little girl in hers and the little boy and the dog in this one. Love this fabric trim. I got it in a estate sale last year. And I'm sending all y'all that ordered one of these journals a little piece of this so y'all can play with it inside your journal. Here's a vintage children's book page. Here's one of my little scripture snippets on that fun Dolly magazine page. And then her little flip out looks like that. This was some washi from Allie Brown that I ordered several years ago that she watercolored the design for. Okay, so I was able to go back and add a pocket in here. This may have been the top of the pillowcase because after I stitched it, see how it's kind of coming apart, but I don't know, I just thought, well, never mind, just kidding. So like I glued the underside down and then glued this index card over the top, but I just thought it'd be fun to leave that as a little flip. Love this so much. Here's her little songbook page. I love this dyed tracing paper. I dyed it with like purples and blues. It was some of the papers I was dyeing for the Bohemian Beach collection that I detoured from for a minute. So I used some of those papers. Just a little smiley face charm. Madeline had sent me these little bookmarks. And then I just made a tag. Stamped "He Restores My Soul." A tag out of this home decor from the 70s. I just thought that was really fun. That artwork on the wall of the boats. And the pink and red. I don't know. That was just so fun to me. Vintage typewriter book. Granny Square book. And then this is the center of this one. So this, I thought this paper would probably be too thin to be the center because it's kind of fragile. So I just put some coffee dyed paper in the middle and then glued back this other magazine image to be the center. And I don't know, I just thought she would love this. It's a vintage ravioli ad. So I thought that was cute. And this lady, she's just chilling out on the boat. And this lady's in here eating her ravioli. That's just, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it is. Some little, again, covering the page to show you how you can do that. I just put some cardstock, made little pockets. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't, I thought I glued them. Glued those in there. This little camper with the daisies was cute. Another card that I made from a vintage magazine page. It just has some little collage things on here, like it's this couch, but then it has this lady. I'm not sure what she's doing, but she has a cowboy hat on, it looks like, and there's a bird, and then here's a bird. I don't know, I just thought, again, that the person who ordered this, she'll enjoy that. And this, I thought she would just, I don't know why, just sometimes I put things in that I just feel like need to be in here, but this was from the 70s, this little girl with her, it was a luggage ad. But I just spread it across the page so when you open it, that's what it looked like. I don't know, I just thought that would be fun. glued some of the smiley face paper down and stamped "I believe who you say I am." So cute from this. I think this was from a Richard Scarry book. Little daisy charm. Here's another little scripture snippet pocket. Another book page from that little golden book. Again, I just went ahead and did a little collaging on top of this music page. This was an old ad. 5 days, 4 nights, $175 per person. That was all. That's crazy, right? And then some refrigerators. This was out of a book from the 50s. So I don't know. I just thought this would be fun in here. This was a vintage, like a piece of like a wrist band. I think you got this instead of like a ticket that someone had sent me in Happy Mail one time. I think my friend Arlene may have sent those. But anyways, I thought this would be fun. Here it says Mike's Travel. What's this called, y'all? I feel like it's like is it a luggage ticket or a dry cleaning ticket? Some kind of ticket. And then I just made another little card. And then put some more scripture in here. This was out of a 50s magazine. This ad for peaches and adds the cream. Again, I just layered it over this. And then here was the can label image. This one was fun. Little plain. And then here's a little Tim Holtz wallpaper pocket. I've been loving making like little bitty tags. Little bitty tags and little bitty pockets lately. Here's another pocket. I think I stamped on, I stamped on the back of that. And that is the back of that. And as always, they'll be getting a fun pack of stuff to play with inside their journals or use on their own in their own creations. But anyways, I thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you got some inspiration from this, and I will see y'all in the next day or so. Y'all have a great day. Bye.